Want to say?
In my defense,
I don't want you to talk about the case now. I've got a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they can use it against you.
absolutely.
Now it's
And
not.
I have nothing to hide, sir. I'm leaving the country. I have to leave the country to teach Bible and English in Ukraine.
Officers initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant failing to maintain a single lane and swerving between lanes without.
All right, pause right here, because this is where a lot of defendants get it wrong. This isn't a casual conversation. This is the legal danger zone. Once the judge lays out the charge, DWI up to 6 months in jail, fines on the table, everything said next is no longer just talking, it's evidence. And notice how quickly the judge pivots to rights and probable cause. Translation: the court already believes there's enough here to move forward. Question for you watching: if you were in this seat, would you still be talking or would you be lawyering up immediately?
Or unprescribed controlled medication, I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Are you going to allow me to speak?
What did you want to say?
In my defense,
I don't want you to talk about the case now. I've got a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they can use it against you.
absolutely.
Now it's not.
And I have nothing to hide, sir. I'm leaving the country. I have to leave the country to teach Bible and English in Ukraine on Monday. I've been planning this for months.
I'm not putting a travel restriction on you. I'm just ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
I haven't. I had 2 lens replacements that week, sir.
From now on, while this case is open, you are not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication.
I don't anyway.
Well, then it shouldn't be a problem. But you're going to be randomly tested. How long are you planning on being out of town?
7 months until May.
This is going to be an issue. When are you leaving?
Monday.
You need to hire a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer about this so we can work something out. But you now have an open criminal case. You can't take off for just 7 months. It's not going. That can't happen. It's going to be an issue.
Half of the things that officer said was a lie.
That's why we have trials.
Okay.
You know, that's what I get it. There's always 2 sides to a story. I understand. The evidence will point to whose side is correct. I don't know. I wasn't
May I
there.
ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
When does the blood work come in?
This right here is the moment the courtroom temperature spikes. The judge just dropped one of the most brutal and accurate analogies in legal history. Representing yourself in a criminal case is like performing surgery on yourself while stressed, with no tools and real consequences. And here's the key legal reality. Choosing to go pro se doesn't earn you sympathy or flexibility. It actually removes protections. No waived appearances, no buffer, no one to stop you from self-destructing on the record. Be honest, have you ever seen someone talk themselves out of trouble in court?
On yourself. And let me tell you this.
I have nothing to hide.
Let me tell you this. If you're going to represent yourself, I'm going to require your presence here every month to go through discovery. Whereas if you have a lawyer, I waive appearances, right? Just, you can't represent yourself and be gone for 7 months. It don't work like that. So if you hire a lawyer, I will waive your appearance.
I can do this by remote.
You can't. Your lawyer can't. If you represent yourself, I require your appearance here.
All right, sir. You're talking about a public defender if one is appointed for me?
You have to qualify. I don't give out public defenders like it's candy on Halloween. You have to qualify. If you have an income and you meet the federal poverty guideline, then we will appoint you a lawyer. But if you don't qualify, then you have to go hire a lawyer. But once you do hire a lawyer, I waive appearances so you don't have to waste your time coming to court. And then at that point, your case will be put off around 4 months, give or take. And then when the evidence comes in, that's when we start working the case. But you have to understand that we randomly call people to take a drug and alcohol test. And if you don't show up, we issue warrants. So that could be an issue. So that's why you need a lawyer to represent you.
Can I say something about the Valium?
No, What you say now will do nothing as to whether there's probable cause, whether it's going to get dismissed, whether this or that. It has nothing to do with, and you're only hurting yourself. Nothing you can say right now will make it to where the case gets dismissed, whether it just doesn't.
Okay, Judge. Right.
I'm doing that to help you, believe it or not. You know,
Yes, sir.
we have a lot of people that come in here and they just want to run gun, just let's go now. Unfortunately, the law works at a snail's pace. And I know that it infuriates about 90% of the people, but that's just the way it goes.
And you're
I
right.
didn't invent it. I just try to
All right, sir.
micromanage.
In regard to the defendant's license, we see that he appears to have an out-of-state California license that is suspended in the case, except in the case of employment. So it appears to be an out-of-state occupational license.
License, I'm going to bar you from driving as well, sir. No. And I'm going to tell you now, if you have an occupational license in California, you've now picked up a DWI. Once they get wind of that, it's very possible they revoke that license as well. If he has an occupational license, it's got to be because of a DWI. Why else?
Can I
Just don't
speak?
say, no, don't. It's going downhill real quick. Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer. When do you leave on Monday?
7 a.m. from McAllen.
Oh, to McAllen.
No, from McAllen to Warsaw. Train to Kiev.
What I would do is get on it quick today to see about hiring a lawyer.
Okay.
And then they can appear on your behalf on Monday and we can work through the logistics. Don't just take off, because I'm telling you, if you just take off, I'm going to issue a warrant. And the next time you ever try to get on a plane, they're going to arrest you and it's going to be, you'll sit in custody for months. It is a potential incredibly big headache.
So what does the lawyer need to do on Monday?
You need to have a lawyer. The lawyer needs to come, file paperwork to represent you. And then
This is no longer a warning. This is a flashing red siren. Once a judge says the word warrant, the game changes completely. Miss a court date, leave the country without permission, fail a test, and suddenly this isn't a DWI case anymore. It's a custody problem. And here's the wild part. The judge is actually trying to help him avoid that outcome. That's why the advice keeps coming back to one thing: get a lawyer now. Final question for you. At this point, is this confusion or is this denial setting in?
lawyers work very hard on Friday.
One more question, please.
Shoot,
Even if it's used against me, can I explain the California license revoked?
don't.
All right.
Just really, I know that you want to, it's just now's not the time.
Okay.
What we do is we usually give around 30-day resets for people to hire a lawyer, but I'm advising you to do it,
Okay.
Tell
me where to go right now.
Okay. So you're showing he has a suspended license for sure, right?
That's what it shows on our end, Your Honor. Suspended except for that employment
Okay,
exception.
I'm going to have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. You sign the reset with Victoria. We'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Understand, I don't care where you are. I know that you're going to Poland or wherever. You can't consume alcohol.
And you don't want me to drive from now?
Well, you have to follow the law. If you don't have a license, you're not allowed to drive.
Okay. All right, sir. All right, sir. All right.
Judge, were you saying to put it on Monday?
Well, he's gone Monday.
Okay,
I
so
would just say a 30-day reset and then just, have a lawyer as quick as you can. Theoretically, you don't have to. You could be out of town and still get with the lawyer and the lawyer can come. We just need to know before the next setting.
Yes, sir.
Because if you're not here or it's someone here on your behalf by the next setting and you don't appear,
Yes.
people don't appear, we revoke bonds.
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
How much money do you make a month?
I would say that
Be honest.
I just started with Tomball ISD, so I have barely worked a month, maybe 800.
How do you support yourself?
I have been working, I'm a retired teacher out of California. And so I have retirement, but I'm trying to come on to Tomball to add to my retirement.
So you earn a monthly stipend as
Yes,
a
sir.
part of your retirement?
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you make from that a month?
About plus Social Security.
All in, All-
About 5,000 a month. Plus the 800 that I just made.
see a prior DWI?
I didn't see anything when I ran this criminal history, Judge. I can try again if you'd like.
How many people are in your household? Who do you live with?
I'm living currently with my sister.
You're not married, you don't have children?
I am going through a divorce. My wife and son are in California.
So let's do this. I'll have you come sign this. I'll have you sign the reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. We'll set you off a month. Just be careful out there.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Judge, we're keeping the Ravens first.
Yes, it's a problem.
Since he's going out of town, he says that he won't sign for doing this.
Well, then I'm going to put you in jail then.
How do I report?
You need a
for random
lawyer.
drug testing?
You need a lawyer so we can work out the logistics. But what we normally do.
Lawyer will take care of this.
But what we normally do when people are out of town, we have them tested at Quest Diagnostics. You going to Warsaw for 7 months, it's going to be a humongous problem. I don't know how we're going to do this. That's why you need a lawyer so we can figure out the logistics, because I'm not going to take your word for it that you're not going to go over there and not drink. It's why it's a problem. But if you're not going to sign for the conditions, I'm going to revoke your bond.
So you're advising me to go ahead and sign, and the lawyer will.
Well, every person that picks up a DWI, we do the same exact thing. We order the same conditions.
Okay.
Serenity now.
Serenity now! Serenity now!
He's not getting a hired attorney, correct? Or, sorry, he's getting a hired attorney on his own behalf, right?
He's going, right.
No, I'm getting a public defender.
You make $5,800 a month, sir.
Yeah.
That doesn't, you